This is a podcast that me and my good friend Alden are doing. Highly motivational. We're going to be explaining the pains of trying to become successful and what it takes to become great. First question, what made you want to strive for something more in your life?
Well, ever since I was little, the ambition always came, the hard work ethic always came. And it's something like you just feel that like you're born to do this. And first, like growing up, it was all soccer, trying to make that path. But then it persevered and switched. Just music came to me. It's like God like gave me the path. And ever since that, I've been going hard at it. Many doubters, many people that don't believe. But all that matters is just if you believe,
I agree. I would say you just kind of feel like you're meant for it. Maybe when you're a kid, you don't really think of it as much, but you just kind of have that feeling inside that you're meant to do something bigger than just be average,
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of just grows more and more the older you get. And the thing is, like, once you feel that, it can never go away.
Yeah.
Once you feel it inside, it's just going to keep on growing and growing. And if you don't try to stop it, when you're 60 years old, you're just going to be thinking to yourself, like, wow, what if? That's one of the scariest things to me is saying, what if?
Can't live a life with regret. That's one thing.
For sure.
Let's move on to the next question. I got one right here. All right. Do you think everyone is born with a purpose, or do we create it as we go? Kind of
Honestly,
ties into that.
I believe that everyone is born with a purpose. I kind of do believe it. Like, I feel like you could create something, but I do believe that some people just don't have. I'm not even trying to sound cocky here. I truly do believe that some people don't have what it truly takes to become remarkable. Some people, are meant to be doctors. Some people are meant to be surgeons, dentists, engineers.
Which is great.
There's nothing
Amazing.
hating on that, but I'm saying, like, to go through the entrepreneurial path, to go through this journey of trying to achieve your dreams. Not everyone has it. I have a few friends who I talk to them and I ask them, personally, I like to know this stuff. I ask them, like, do you not have that feeling inside that you want to, like, go and do something? And most of the time they tell me, like, no, like, I want to, I'm happy with a 9 to 5. I'm happy coming home, like, having a family and just living that life. And personally for me, like, that scares me. But for someone else, it might be what brings them fulfillment.
Yeah, I get what you mean. But yeah, I definitely do think we're created with a purpose. But it could happen as you go. Like some people, it clicks with them different. They realize like, oh, this path might not be for me. Like say they go to college, say they want to do stuff, but they realize, no, like it just isn't for me. Yeah.
For
that's all I
sure.
have to say.
No, they definitely, like, you're right. Like, some people, the thing is, with this purpose, like, you could be born with it, or the thing is, it could hit you when you're 40 years old. The thing is, you never know when it's going to hit you.
Yeah.
But once you get that, once it clicks, because there's always going to be a time where it just clicks. Once it does, you can never go back.
Yeah, once you find that purpose, there is hard work, there is all this stuff that ties into it, but nothing comes without sacrifice. And you gotta have the desire. Like if you don't have desire, then what's the point?
For sure. The thing is, you got to want it more than anything. For sure,
You got to.
100%.
Desire is number one.
All right, let's move on to the next question. How do you feel about no one believing in you, including your close friends and your family?
That's a good question. A lot of people do say they believe in you, but you don't know what's inside their head. They could say it just to be nice, but I know once we actually become famous, there's always gonna be like, whoa, you actually did it. You actually did it. That means they didn't believe in you.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think everyone kind of goes through that stage where people just don't really believe in them. Like you said, like, people could say, like, they believe, oh, I believe in you, bro. Like, you could do it. Like, I trust in you, whatever.
But do they
But the
truly
thing
mean
is,
it?
would they put $1 million on the line? And the thing is with that is, I could see why some people don't believe in you if you're not putting in the work. If you're just, like, doing it here and there, obviously no one's gonna believe in you. But when your friends and your family see you waking up early, grinding, like a psychopath at the computer, and they still don't believe in you, that's when you got to think like these people don't want what's best for me. Obviously, if it's your parents, it's different. They've grown up in a different society where college is the main thing. But with your friends, if they still don't believe in you and they see that you're trying and they make hate comments and they kind of just judge you, and
It's not a friend.
it's not a friend for sure. And I feel like
Circle matters.
when you let go of that, that's when you finally get to where you want to be for sure.
Great question. Let's move on to the next. Okay, what does chasing your dream really mean to you now compared to when you started?
So when I first started, I would say that I was just thinking that it's all going to happen very fast. I thought that in 1 year, I'm going to be making maybe $20,000 a month. And the thing is, it's been a long time now, and the thing that I learned is that you have to go through the journey. You can't rush greatness. You have to build up your story. And I feel like right now, in the beginning, when you first start, everyone is kind of just like tuning into what you're doing. When I first started my YouTube channel, everyone was watching, everyone was commenting, everyone was saying, I believe in you. And then months and months go by, and suddenly, what seemed to be a crowd around you just
Fades away.
becomes your shadow. And that's something that makes me want it even more, makes me want to work even harder, because the thing is, like, everyone kind of just walks away. Everyone kind of just stops believing, stops supporting. And you, like I said, you're just left with your shadow, and you're left thinking to yourself, where is everyone at? What do I do? And that is the point where you have two choices. You can either give up, or you could continue to just keep on forging your path and going forward, because the thing is, you can never go back in time. So if you don't put in the work right now, you'll never get what you want.
Definitely. Time will tell. But yeah, what does chasing your dream mean now compared back then? So back then, I would just think about the dream, visualize it, which is very important. We have to go through it, because at the end of the day, it's not all sunshines and rainbows when you're going through the journey. There's going to be storms brewing up your way, and you just got to go through that, because once you get through that, then you'll see the sunshines and rainbows. Just like the example of a miner, like the gold mine, digging all your way through, they leave, but they don't notice that there's just one step ahead.
For sure. And the thing that I learned, you got to stretch the timeline. You can't expect everything to come fast. You have to have a lot of speed, but a lot of patience. Because if you kind of just give up, like you said, right before, the thing is, you don't know when it's going to come. It could be now, it could be in a year, it could be in 10 years. But the thing is, if you have the mentality that you're going to achieve it in your lifetime, the truth is you will. If you keep on continuing to get better and better, even if it takes 20 years, you're going to make it. And the thing is, sure, 20 years you had a lot of suffering, but then think about it. You have the next 40 years of luxury. You have the next 40 years feeling fulfilled, waking up with a purpose. So I guess the biggest lesson that I had to learn is that you got to be patient. And greatness, without a story behind it, it's not going to feel good.
Definitely, because if you don't go through that story, then it's not going to be good for the long term. If you just get that short term, say someone gets that one hit wonder with a song or anything, one motivation side, they get that one hit early, are they going to know how to carry on? Because it works like this. Because once you just go automatic like this, it could fall down. But stepping stones definitely matter.
100%. All right, next question. If you could give one piece of advice to your younger self, what would it be and why?
As you were going with the patience, that's definitely the most important. Time will tell. You see people like Cristiano Ronaldo, Iman Gaji, Donald Trump, whatever, they get there, they get to the highest status they can, but before that, it's a long journey. You have to wait, you have to be patient, because if you're not, that's what happens to most people. That's why it's only a limited gap. There's a lot of people that go through this journey, say they want to be a YouTuber, say they want to be a soccer player, but they just quit when they don't see the results. To see the results, you must go on.
For sure. For me, what I would say, the biggest lesson that I wish I could go back in time and say is to not care what other people think, I would say. Because at the end of the day, in 100 years' time, none of us are going to be here. None of us are going to be alive. And none of us are going to be thinking about what other people think about us. See, the thing with me is when I first wanted to start making videos, I procrastinated for like 3-4 months. I was thinking to myself, like, maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe I should. I don't know if this is worth it. But deep down, the real reason is because I cared. And the thing is, once you start to care, that's when you start to give them control. And I'm all about control of your life, because if you don't have it, someone else has it. And why would you give up that power inside of you for someone who, number one, probably isn't even thinking about you, and number two, someone that you do not care about, you don't want to be like them, someone that you just like truly, like, why would you actually care? And I feel like once I learned that lesson, that's when I started like, you know what, who cares? I'm gonna do it. And even if it doesn't work for years and years, even if people laugh at me, make fun of me, because the thing is, like, I've been through like maybe already like hundreds of situations where people have laughed at me, made fun of me, said, why is he doing this? Why is he doing that? You know, judged me, hated on me. I mean, even you, like when they used to add you to the group chats and when they're commenting hate posts and all this, like, the thing that you got to question is if they are taking their time out of their day to hate on someone for trying to achieve their dreams, what does that make them look like as a person?
Insecure is what I could say.
The thing is, it's a great point of saying insecure, because when you're trying to achieve your dreams and they see you working hard, it's a spotlight effect on them not achieving their dreams. So the only thing that they could do is try to tear you down. Just like how that one metaphor, when there's a bunch of crabs in a bucket and one's trying to escape, one's trying to make it out, another crab, even though it's his own kind of people, will grab him down because he wants to be the first one to leave. He doesn't want to hit someone else to leave before him. And it's just the same way with your friends. You got to be careful.
It's very, very easy to tear someone down. All you gotta do is write that one comment, but then shift it to the person that's actually doing it. They're doing the hard work compared to the easy work. That's why I've never had a spot like in my heart to hate on other people, even growing up. Like, luckily I was born with this. But yeah, you just definitely don't care about what other people think, because at the end of the day, it's your own happiness that matters. What do you want to fulfill? You don't want to fulfill other people's happiness before you fill yours, because then your whole life, you'll never like find it.
I agree.
All right, next question. What's been your biggest internal battle throughout this process?
Biggest internal battle has for sure been having doubts. Because for me, what I would say is coming home after a long day of work and, you know, you spent hours on a video, you spent hours just doing something, grinding. And then, you know, at the end of the day, you look at YouTube Studio, you look at how much people are listening to your stuff, you just look at the progress you've made and you see like no improvements. That just definitely creates a battle inside of you where you seriously start to question, like, is this even worth it? You know, for my example, I was getting hundreds of views and then I made the wrong turn, I made that mistake, and now I'm getting 20 views maybe a video. And it truly just messes me up mentally, I would say. And no one understands, honestly, the pain of going through this journey. Everyone thinks we're just like, you know, just chilling, doing this for fun, you know, enjoying our time, which I'm not saying we're not. It's definitely
Very
something
passionate.
fun. It's very passionate to do. But the thing is, no one sees the dark side of it. Everyone just always looks at the good side of it. When someone makes it, all they look at is the good thing about it. Like, oh, this guy is making millions, this guy is this and that. What they don't see is the dark, dark battles that you've been in. And I think this is why this journey is not for everyone. Not everyone truly has it, and not everyone should truly have what it takes, because like I keep saying, this is one of the hardest things that anyone, and that's definitely the biggest internal battle for me, is I've been through so much mistakes and so much doubt, so much just thinking to myself at night, when will this work out and stuff. But the thing is, those are the days where you must shut your brain, turn it off, and just keep on going forward.
I mean, yeah, definitely. I mean, with my music, for example, like I see nothing like really hitting the views, which the views matter. Like everyone can say the views don't matter, but if you're really trying to build something, they do matter. Right now, how far do you think we're in this journey? 1-2 years?
I would say about like a year and a half. I would
There's
say it's a solid journey.
There's people that go through 15 years of this, 20 years, 10 years, 5 years, different from everybody, but yeah, it's just insane.
A thing that I heard, I think it was like from Alex Hermosi, his name is that even if it takes longer, the mentality that you got to have is, oh, like, sure, I don't have the views right now. At least when I do get the views, they're going to see a better video of me. They're going to see a better song for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you got to think about it. You got to think about it like, oh, like maybe I'm not getting that viral hit right now, but maybe that's better for me because maybe I'm not good enough yet. Maybe if I just keep improving and that one video that I'm truly my best video ever made, that gets 1 million views. You're going to get so much people that convert into followers because they're going to be a fan of your work. And that's the thing, like, you can never expect to get something right away. And even if you do get it right away, you know, maybe you get a 1 million view song, 1 million view video. Sure, you have some success, but the thing is, you're always going to be chasing that 1 million view thing again. You're not going to know the pain of hard work and what it takes to actually get to what you want. So the thing that's going to happen is you're going to have a little bit of success, but you're going to crash down and give up.
When you go to sleep, you must know that you put everything you've got, because, I mean, if you don't, then it's like hard work. Just like you said, you can work as hard as you want, but you also need the discipline. You gotta create the goals, because if you're not creating goals, then you don't know where you're going.
Next question. What is the hard truth about life that most people tend to avoid?
The hard truth is, it's a lonely journey. I mean, you could have your teams, you could have all you want, all the support you want, but the thing about this life is a lot of people are too absorbed on their own work and own self, where they're not gonna have time to really like help you. Of course, they're gonna come to you when you're famous, when you're doing good, but once you have that little like downside, are they gonna be there? You just gotta focus on that. And real is rare, fake is everywhere, and it's hard to search for those good people. But once you find them, having a team is most definitely important to getting up there. But it's all about you. It's all about if you're gonna put the work in.
The hard truth that I would probably say is, if you don't spend your life creating something for yourself, whether it's business, whether it's a career, you creating it yourself, if you don't do that, the thing is, you're going to end up following someone else's vision. If you don't have one, if you don't have a vision for yourself, a dream, a goal, whatever it's going to be, you're going to end up spending 9 hours a day following someone else's dream, making him richer, making him more successful, making his vision come true. And the thing is, you know, that's not a bad thing if you get rewarded well. But the issue is, you spend 40, 50 years of your life doing this, clocking in every day. You know, he's kind of just controlling your life. You do it every day for 50 years. You don't complain. You wake up early. You know, you wake up next to your wife. You have to get up because it's cold. You miss your kid's soccer game because you're at work. You have to stay in later. You have to do this and that. For 50 years straight, he gives you attitude. He bosses you around. And what do you truly get? The thing is, if you got $1 million from doing that, if you got $2, $3, $4 million and you get to live luxurious, you know, might as well just do it. But the thing is, people, they spend their entire life doing this. And how much money they have saved up? 10, 20, maybe 100 grand maximum if they're lucky. And that's 40, 50 years of working. When you start to do the math and you calculate that, you realize that they're trading their life away for basically nothing, to just survive. And the thing is, the hard truth is, you can't just survive, you have to thrive. Because those 50 years you're not going to get back. And just because you put in all this work for that one guy, he probably doesn't even know who that person is, to be honest. If you're in a huge corporation, the person's not even going to know who you are. And even if he does, he truly just does not care.
And say if you are in that position, once you get all the money, then what?
Exactly. You're 65 years old.
I'm
maybe
rich.
5 years
But
left.
are you happy?
5 years left to live, if you're lucky. Hopefully your wife is still alive. It's like, it truly is a scam. But the thing is, no one is realizing, no one is waking up to the fact that society, schools was built to create workers to control people. That's literally the reason why, when you go deep and you learn history, you realize that schools were built to make people into workers,
We
to
need
butcher
jobs.
their dreams.
Who else is gonna work those jobs? We definitely need it, and it's always gonna be there.
But the thing is, when you have that calling, you can't ignore it.
yeah, there's a visionaries, and once you get in that route, there's no looking back. Once it like deep down goes into your heart, it's hard to like go on through life without completing that. And that's the stage we're in right now. We're in the grinding stage. And these are the parts we're gonna look back into the future.
What I like to say is we're in the valley of despair, where you're right in the middle of the desert. You're thirsty, you want some water. But you don't know how much longer you have to go until you get that water. The thing is, as you're walking through this valley, as you're walking through this desert that you're in, you keep on walking and you see dead bodies around you that represents dreams, dead dreams, that because they stopped, there's just bodies laying around.
And another thing is, people always think about the money. Like, yes, it's important, but if you don't have the passion, like, money is just paper. It is very important to have it. I'm not saying don't chase money. Definitely chase money, but you gotta have the right purpose for that. Because for me, I see life as a movie, as a book. I wanna, when I'm 90 years old, 80, whatever it is, I wanna read that book, watch that movie, and be entertained at what I did, and be happy of what I accomplished.
For sure. I mean, the thing is, obviously you'd rather have money than be broke. That's just the truth. But the thing is, there's so many millionaires out there that, they achieved it. Maybe their dad was rich and they passed it on to them. Whatever the reason is, maybe they did something dirty. They have the money. But like you said, when you're 80, 90 years old, you think to yourself, like, I ruined my reputation. My kids don't even respect me. I don't even respect myself. And like you said, like, if your life was an actual movie, would they see you being a crook? Would they see you, just taking the easy way out constantly? Or would they see you building something of value, building a purpose, building a vision that's going to last generations?
Definitely. And speaking of respect, one man I really respect is my dad. I mean, if you look at the journey he's been on, my dad was living in Bosnia. There was wars. His house was like little, made out of wood. He was watching cows, goats, whatever it is. Look how far he's came. And as a protector, as a man, as a dad, definitely, he's most definitely provided us and has done everything he can. I never seen my dad ever be like, I don't want to go to work tomorrow. I don't want to do that. No, he creates the discipline. He makes it a daily habit and gets the job done. And I might not tell him a lot, but I respect him so much, and that is my role model.
Nah, I agree for sure. Even with my mom, wakes up 12 hours a day. The thing is, if you don't build something for yourself, for them, they're just going to continue living like that. And the thing is, it's like, it's not an easy thing to see, like seeing your parents go to a job they hate. The thing that I get reminded of is, nothing wrong with them. They want what's best for us. But the thing is, they start to give you advice because they don't want you, obviously, to follow their own path. They say, go get a degree, go get this, go get that. But what they don't realize is, maybe that is like a few steps ahead of them where they're at. Maybe you're making more money. You're kind of in like a cleaner environment. But the thing is, when you take a bigger scope around it and you truly just look at it, you realize that, sure, you're a few steps ahead of them, but you're still a slave to the system. So sure, maybe you did a little bit better than them, but you're still a slave. So that's why a good point is have respect for them, but still follow your purpose, your plan. Because I know a lot of people, man, who just, they follow exactly what their parents say. Their dad, mom says, go be a doctor, go be this, go be that. And that's what they do. But you have to just, I know it sounds wrong, and people are probably going to hate me for this, but you have to ignore their advice, do what you truly want, and that's what gets you to the next level.
Yeah. I mean, my mom, she works day, night. She's always like saying, be an engineer, be a doctor, whatever it is. But, which I respect, but the thing is, you can tell someone to do something, but if they don't have the desire to do it, it's just gonna fall off right away. It's not gonna be good for the health, brain, anything.
Nothing. And you're going to be coming home and just feeling miserable. After a long day of work, you're going to be feeling angry that that's your reality.
All right, next question. What's one thing about your journey that people always get wrong?
So something that I would say is they think, a lot of people around us, they think they know what this journey takes. They try to give us advice. A lot of people try to give advice and think that what they're saying is the correct way. The issue is with that, you should never listen to someone who doesn't have your dream result or is not ahead of you. See, I don't know about you, but I've had a lot of people tell me, you should start doing this, you start doing that. Like, why are you doing that? Asking me questions, this and that. The thing is, you can't listen to them because what they think is right, you've already made all of these mistakes and you already know so much. And that's kind of something that I've been through. Is in the beginning of my journey, I was constantly listening to people, constantly listening to what they're saying, their advice, thinking that, maybe I should do what they're saying, maybe I should do this and that. Shiny object syndrome. You're constantly just switching and you can't make up your mind. And to this day, I'm still having to remind myself that there's so many different ways to achieve what you want. You can't follow someone else's core values. You have to follow your own core values. You have to follow what you truly want to do. Someone tells you you should make this type of content. You should make this type of song. Deep down, you know it's not right, but you're thinking to yourself, maybe I should listen to them. But the truth is, you must put a box around you and just follow what deep down inside you truly want.
I mean, yeah, they're telling you to do that, but that's just one being. They don't know the whole spectrum. You can't just listen to one person. You gotta take and consider it, definitely. Yeah, you gotta plot it in your brain what they're saying and keep it with you, but you gotta do what you know that's best.
Exactly. Like I said, deep down, you're gonna know what the right answer is.
Yeah.
Sure, it's good to have constructive criticism around you, but the thing is, like I said, you can't get constructive criticism from someone that's way below you or someone that doesn't understand your journey, because the truth is, they're just gonna hold you back. Would you listen to a fat person tell you how to lose weight? You obviously wouldn't. So why do you listen to your unsuccessful people around you telling you that you should do this and that, when, like I said, in reality, they don't know what they're saying, they don't know what they're doing, and it's just gonna hold you back.
Definitely. And yeah, what you said, they do think it's easy. The thing about me and you is we want to take it to the next level. We don't want to just make these videos and then just stop in a year or so.
And the thing is, it's hard for people to believe that. It's hard for people to see in their small city two ambitious men who want to be number one. We don't want to be known by 10,000 people. We want to be known worldwide. We want the entire world to hear our message. And the thing is, when people hear that around, it's they kind of just they kind of cringe at it. They're like, what is this guy saying? They don't think it's achievable because they don't think that they could achieve it. So when they think that they can achieve it, they just believe that everyone else around them can't achieve it.
True. Key word you said right there, worldwide. That's definitely something I want to do with my music, and I think you should most definitely do that with your motivation. Because, I mean, we live in a city in Michigan. That's just one city. The world is humongous.
It's huge, for sure.
And I want to reach audiences of different cultures, backgrounds, and tie it into unity. And while doing that, I want to inspire and make the world better, just like you do.
Next question. Give me a story from your life, any story from your past that filled you with motivation to keep going, that put a fire inside of you.
So, when I started with this music journey about a year ago, 9 months ago, and before starting the music journey, I always thought like, how do you do this? How do you do that? But once I kept taking the action and getting to it, I realized it really isn't possible. First, I was thinking about like, oh, how am I gonna make a song? How do you go to the studio? How do you do that? You can't ask other people. You just gotta go do it yourself. And it really motivated me because now I see what I created. I see all the songs I've made, and now working on the album. When I was little, I never thought I would be able to do that. I always just looked at whatever it is, Central C, Drake, and be like, wow. But you just gotta create. And my creativity really I think has progressed along the way.
What I would have to say, a story that filled me with motivation is the instance where I came home one day and, I'm not gonna say, like I said, that the people around me are bad or anything. They obviously want what's best for me, but I remember just coming home one day, seeing like my parents tired, and then kind of just telling me that my dreams aren't achievable. They kind of told me that you're wasting your time. You've probably had it happen to you millions of times where they say like, you're gonna be a bum if you don't do this and that. And it's not that they're evil parents, they love us, they want what's best for us. They just don't know this new generation, this new society. And that kind of just filled me up with motivation. Because like I said earlier, you have to realize that if you don't follow your purpose inside, your vision, and you listen, it hurts. I'm not gonna lie. Hearing people tell you that you're delusional, that you're a disappointment, that you're gonna be a bum, that you're gonna be begging for money, all of these things, I've been told so many things, that I'm crazy, that I'm weird, and
It's your choice whether you want to make it fuel or bring you down.
that's the thing. And that, I remember this one day, I didn't get the highest achievement in my class. I got like the first one, and there's 3 levels: 3.0 GPA, 3.5 GPA, 4.0 GPA. I got a 3.0 GPA. I was always naturally decent at school, even though I wasn't trying too hard. I remember all the parents were there. I remember walking out of school that day, and the parents are supposed to meet up with you. I remember I walked out of the doors, and I'm kind of just looking for my family. I'm like, where do they go? So I kind of just it's been 5-10 minutes now. I pick up my phone. I'm kind of frustrated. I'm like, where is that? I see my friend, his family just came. I'm like, where is everyone at? I pick up my phone. I call my brother. I'm like, where are you guys at? He goes, we left. Just be very careful because they're very mad. And I'm thinking to myself, what's going on? What are they mad about? I end up going home, and this is a very personal story. I drove home, my bad. I drove home. In the car, I'm kind of just worried, what are they mad about? I'm kind of thinking to myself, I'm kind of tensed up. I kind of knew deep down that the reason that they were mad is because basically I didn't get the first level achievement. And I also said, they asked everyone that was in that group, what do you want to be? What do you want to do? And at the time, I didn't know I wanted to be a creator, but I knew I didn't want to go to college because I knew I couldn't live an average life. So I just said undecided. And I remember specifically going home that day, and my mom just looked at me and told me, you're a disappointment to us. And like I said, nothing against them, but I remember that day just kind of just made me get my stuff together. I realized if I don't change anything, I'm going to be the same person that's just wishing and dreaming. And the thing is, I can't die like that. That day, I knew I needed to do something. And shortly after, that's when I found out that I need to become a creator and I need to influence the world and motivate everyone, educate everyone, and just make someone a better person. Because knowing that this system has people so trapped into a short mind, into a short vision, I knew from that day forward that I can't be a cog in the system.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. The words, "you are disappointment," you definitely understand where they're coming from because they don't know how today's world is. They don't know you, like as a being, like what you truly want to do, and you don't want to tell them because they wouldn't understand. And
Yep.
yeah, I mean, but I've been seeing you've been fueling it and using it to your advantage
Yeah.
because having that, you could look back with your mom, with your brother, whoever it is, and be like, look, I actually did it.
Exactly. That's kind of the thing I'm dreaming of. You know, every day I visualize myself being successful. I visualize people around me telling me like, damn, you did it. Like, damn, you're actually successful. I imagine myself, even though I'm not a materialistic guy, I imagine myself pulling up in my dream car and, you know, just sitting in it and thinking about all the bad times that we had to go through to
Yep,
get it.
that's the dream. Grinding stage, but soon we'll be up there. We're just slowly getting up there.
So, and like I said, even though it's a painful journey, that's what makes it more beautiful in the end.
Yeah, I'm happy to be doing it with you.
For sure. I truly do believe deep down with every part of me that we're both going to become great, leave a lasting impact. And this is just the first podcast of thousands for us to come.
To
And hundreds of both of us together.
be honest, I didn't know I was gonna like find someone like you. Like I
Yeah.
got lucky. Like I thought I was just gonna be like alone in this
True.
journey. God put us together because He knows we have good intentions.
Because the thing is, like, no one realizes that there really is so much average people. There really is a very select few. You know, maybe you see on social media all these like teenagers driving Lambos or whatever it is. When you take a deeper look, you realize that that's only maybe 0.1% of the entire world. Everyone else is just living and staying stuck in this system. In our entire city, and honestly, maybe even in our entire state, there's probably not that many people that truly are trying to grind for it, truly are putting in the work for it. And another thing is we got to work harder. That's just the truth.
Mm-hmm.
You can never be comfortable with how hard you're working. You got to be the hardest worker in your country. That's how badly you got to want it because there's so much competition, yet at the same time there's so much little competition. It just depends on how bad you want it and how much you're willing to go in order to get it.
And when we talk about average, we're inspired by the fear of being average. But when people might see this talk, they might think we're like dissing other people. We're not. It's just something, a calling that we got. It's a dream. And then we just want to put it into action. Because there's 7 billion people. Not everyone's going to do that. But we're the people that are.
For sure. Honestly, I think that's a good way to end this podcast. It was very great dissecting your brain, your knowledge, and just getting your motivation. But the entire time, we just had one plot. Stick through the journey, no matter how hard it gets. And at the end of the road is something beautiful. I hope whoever's watching this, truly deep down inside, you know what you want. You know that you want to become great. You know deep down that there's a better life out there. Use this as fuel to get to that destination, no matter how long it takes, no matter how many years, how many failures. Have the mindset that you will achieve it no matter what.
That's right. Find your purpose. Once you find it, you might be lost in the plot, but all I can say is time will tell, and you'll get where you want to be.